Welcome back to the channel. This is the Earth Science Classroom. This is a video series on the Pacific Ring of Fire, and this video in particular is looking at a certain section or part of the large tectonic system. This is the Central America part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. This is the Earth Science Classroom. Welcome back to the channel. This video is all on the Central American portion of the Pacific Ring of Fire, where we start off with the North American plate to the north and Mexico. So in between Mexico and Baja California Peninsula, we have the Gulf of California, where we find a continental rift, a spreading center extending north and south down to the peninsula to the sur, where you find Cabo San Lucas, and it turns into the Pacific Rivera Rise, a divergent plate boundary extending southwest out into the Pacific Ocean, and then you have the Rivera Fracture Zone, and to the east you have the start of the Middle America Trench, the subduction zone, which starts off the coast of western Mexico, and also the Tomeo Fracture Zone, which makes the Rivera Plate, a microplate sandwiched in between the Pacific Plate, North American, and the Cocos Plate. Then we extend further south where you have the East Pacific Rise, the divergent plate boundary, which is forming the enormous Pacific Plate, extends south into the equatorial regions of the Pacific and further south into the southern Pacific Ocean. And then in the eastern equatorial Pacific, around 2 degrees north and 101 degrees west, you have a perpendicular, separate divergent plate boundary, a spreading center called the Cocos Nazca Spreading Center, and extends from the East Pacific Rise east across the Pacific Ocean towards Central and South America, and meets up with the Middle America Trench off the western coast of Panama. Now, this perpendicular spreading center, the Cocos Nazca Spreading Center, creates two separate minor plates. The Cocos Plate to the north, and to the south is the Nazca Minor Plate. Now we're looking at the subduction convergence part of the Central American Ring of Fire, and the main section to the north is the Middle America Trench, the subduction zone, where you have the Rivera Plate subducting underneath the North American Plate, the Cocos Plate subducting under the Caribbean Plate and North American, and extends down to South America past Panama. Now this causes different blocks to form on different major plates. On the eastern section we have the Maya Plate around the Yucatan Peninsula and southern Mexico. It's part of the North American Plate. You have the Chortis block, which is part of the Caribbean Plate or Caribbean Plate, and also the Panama microplate or Panama block, which is also part of the Caribbean. Now these are formed in between different transform plate boundaries and fracture zones, which extend along to form the northern boundary and southern boundary of the Caribbean Plate. Now the southern boundary also is a deformed belt between Panama and parts of Venezuela and South America, which means there's extensive thrust faulting, mountain building, shearing, and stress along that boundary. And that continues and connects back up with the subduction zone off the coast of Colombia. Now, the Ecuador-Colombia Trench extends south from the Middle America Trench, south and along the coastline of South America through the countries of Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, which then turns into the Peru-Chile or Chile Trench as we continue south. And the North Andean block, or the North Andean microplate, is formed between a transform plate boundary and transition fault east of the Mid-America Trench and also the Ecuador-Colombia Trench. And this is a thin slice of crust that extends on the northwestern section of South America, which is sandwiched in between the Panama block, the larger plates of Nazca, and the South American, and also the Caribbean Plate to the north. This is the Earth Science Classroom. Thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. And if you get a chance to like and subscribe, that stuff really helps the channel. Thank you so much. And see you again in a future video.